Today on Drawbli,
We're looking at the art of LCZ.
and boy do they have some art for us to look at.
This is a professional. Just a professional.
Professional, yes.
Most of the artists we look at are working professionals.
True.
This artist just embodies the feeling of professionalism. So let's get into it.
Yeah, aka getting paid for doing something.
Yes.
That's kind of what professional means, at least to me. So we're going to be looking at a lot of amazing environment art, and then we're going to be looking at some breakdowns that they have. They have a ton more work on their art station, so definitely go check it out. So we can kind of see like the block out process of just like big shapes here.
Yeah.
And they've already established so much. And another thing that I'm noticing looking at this first piece is that as we go to the final image, some of the rough stuff, like way in the background, stays exactly that rough. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to be water, but it kind of looks like a face on that tree. Like this is a beard and two eyes.
Actually, yeah, it's interesting. I don't think I see it in the finished work though, so maybe not intentional.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it was just unintentional. I think you're right. But yeah. And then again, going back to that finished piece, really
Yes,
cool. It's like
that's so cool.
There's like these seeds like dripping sap or something.
Clearly magical. We're harvesting the sap.
Yeah, something.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, and then a lot of their environment pieces that we're going to be looking at are insanely detailed. I know that they had some 3D models used for this that probably helped with the perspective, and then they did a lot of paint overs on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of being a professional concept artist, is using what tools are available to you, such as 3D modeling and whatever else you have at your command. You're there to do the job and make the money that you are clearly well deserving of.
Yeah, when you do professional work, you should use whatever tools and shortcuts you can to achieve that result. I often get asked like, oh, is it okay to like use a base mesh for 3D modeling? I'm like, yeah, if it gets you there faster, 100%.
Yeah.
But for personal work, I think it's better to start from scratch a lot of the time because you get more practice.
If you're on a learning journey, yeah, that really shifts the conversation and narrative about like what tools should I be using or not using, and it depends what your goals are and what you would like to accomplish.
I thought this was really cool to see a breakout of some of the individual pieces so we can really kind of like focus just on that one piece, or like the treehouse over there. And then you get to kind of see that collaged together with all the atmospheric effects, the lighting, the trees in the background.
Absolutely.
The cute characters that are...
Those are cute.
Are they...
Gerbil world. I don't know.
Gerbil world?
Cute little hamster world.
Something, yeah. Yeah, very cool stuff. And then some more... Okay, so the thing I love about a lot of these environment pieces is they have this bird's eye view that really shows the vastness, and I love this perspective. It's so cool.
Beautiful rendering on the snow on the rooftop too. We really get that feeling that it's just slightly melting away from the warmth of the building.
That is really cool.
Yeah, and the lighting coming through. I mean, it hits so realistically, and I just love that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that actually kind of gives me a 3D vibe. The pattern of that. Something about the pattern of that. I'd have to think about it for a moment.
So this may be a far more blended artist in terms of utilizing 3D and traditional like digital media.
Yeah, and specifically the snow on the roof. The rest of it, no, but that kind of gave me that vibe for some reason. Yeah, and then a lot of really cool stuff, in my opinion, going on with their brushwork in terms of detail. Like if you look at the statue over here, a lot of this is just kind of plainer. You know?
Oh yeah,
it's really broken down, but because it's one piece of many, it works really well. And then
beautiful
up here,
I'd love to be there.
I think I see the clear signs of a Photoshop mixer brush.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of like see that stamp pattern happening and curling around. That's cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I love when you're looking at a work and you get to like kind of see a peek behind the curtain at some of the stuff.
It's so important to dig in and to learn how these artists create what they do. For one thing, maybe you're a learning artist and this is something you aspire to be able to do. Maybe it's very important to know that much of this is accomplished using things other than just brush strokes. I think that's extremely important to know if you are interested in these elaborate environments.
Yeah, I would say I see Blender, or other 3D software as well, but specifically Blender being used a lot more in the concept art field. I think just because it really helps you block out the perspective of your scene really quick. You can position a camera, move it around to try out a lot of different angles. It's definitely a very helpful thing to have 3D in your toolkit. But yeah, like these artworks are just so gorgeous.
So beautiful.
And the amount of storytelling and detail happening here as you like zoom in on little moments, like I want to look over here at this dark area and I'm like so curious about what's going on here. We have all these like little openings leading into the hillside. I'm like, what's in there?
Yes, this is clearly like a thriving, busy place, but it's so grand and beautiful. It reminds me of Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings a little bit, like an ideation of what that could look like.
Yeah, and all the cool sculptures and statues. Super cool. Yeah, this was really fun to just see a breakout of these different pieces once again. I'm a big fan of any time that we can like really focus in on one thing.
Yeah, do you think there's more Blender happening here as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe a little.
I'm not sure. I don't see anything that like really sticks out to me. But like for the base of the cylinder, maybe just because the lighting on that is so good. But there is clearly a lot of overpainting on top of this.
I think that's certainly something to be familiar with and to learn at least something about if you intend to go the professional route. I mean, how much of our journey has been all about learning how to find and use reference? Sometimes it feels like I've spent 50% of the time I make creating art is about the reference. So how nice is it for these big landscapes? You don't have to go and find a big landscape with all that unique lighting. You make it and then you paint it.
Yeah, but you also reference, you know, still.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's a
blocking
blend.
things out in 3D. But yeah, this was just a deviation from what we've been looking at. Something more simple. But I really just like getting to see their brushwork here. And it's just super cool.
Yeah, it's always great to see a study, see where somebody, you know, where they put their emphasis on what they think is important to practice.
And then you get a scene like this
Wow.
that's just so dense.
So dense, so much beauty and grandeur and detail. I absolutely love this.
Yeah, this world actually has a lot of really cool stuff going on with their buildings where they have these root-like structures growing through parts of their buildings. There's a lot more images on ArtStation at the link below, but you can maybe see like a little bit of that here with like this weird shape curling up the building. But for the most part, the other images show it a lot better.
Gotcha.
Just so cool to see like all this insane detail. And then kind of a block out here.
Wow.
Starting off really rough, really simple.
So we definitely see that this feels like it was very much painted from scratch, is how that, at least how this feels to me, or painted over, or...
Yeah, I just love this so much. It's so cool to see the perspective and colors laid out so well. Like it's just blocked out so expertly, and then just slowly adding detail. And I'm wondering if they're like kit bashing like detail, like little parapets and different things. Like these shapes up here feel like they're, you know, repeatable structure. So you find something and then just like repeat that piece. Super cool.
Yeah.
Man, I would love to see their process like in terms of a time lapse. But this is a really good example of just like a beautiful kind of simplistic artwork. And then we get to see a breakdown of how they've gone about that.
Oh, wow.
You can actually see the screenshot of their brush.
Oh, yeah.
So they are using Photoshop. That is the Photoshop cursor.
Oh, okay.
Most digital painters use Photoshop, or I would say it's like shifting a lot because there's a lot more software that's applicable. You can see the
eyedropper.
Yeah, the eyedropper tool as they continue to work on that. And then the finished piece, which does not include a cursor of any kind. But yeah, that's always super fun to see. But yeah, I would love to see more of a time-lapsed breakdown of everything to really understand the whole like process.
I like the way this is all structured as sweeping down the canvas at an angle with the trees jutting out at like perpendicular angles. I like that a lot.
I do like that a lot as well. I just love these type of trees. I think they're birch trees.
Yeah.
I would love to do a paint study of like some birch trees because
Oh.
it's such fun texture, you
We
know?
have some birch trees in our vicinity.
Ooh, we should go find some and do some like plein air painting.
Oh, I would love to do that. I'm taking a watercolor class.
Oh, you
soon,
are? That's right. Yeah.
So I'll be, maybe I'll
Maybe you
fold
can
that
paint
in.
something like this.
Yeah, in my watercolor class.
Yeah,
For not advanced watercolors.
These are just like so beyond anything that I am capable of right now, but it's so awesome to see nonetheless. I love the motion blur on the leaves coming down into the scene as well.
Definitely, definitely.
Helps really make you. It really makes you feel like you're there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder how this professional work is utilized. Like,
These are for particular IPs. I'm not sure what. Some of these are personal works, but concept or work like this could be used for like a splash screen for a game. It might straight up just be a concept to like get the feel or vibe for a environment for a video game or something like that.
this one's beautiful with that sunbeam coming down. I just love that. That's very pretty to look at.
And it's just like cascading perfectly on the path up the stairs. That's so cool. Yeah, this one was one of my favorites just because I love me some like fantasy magical worlds, and this definitely gives that vibe with the floating rocks. Big fan.
Yeah, it looks like, the Avatar world with the floating rocks, but a little more structured.
Yeah, and then I really like the massive tree behind the structure here. Anytime there's a big tree, I love a big tree.
Gotta love the blend of nature and infrastructure. Wouldn't it be nice if our cities incorporated more blends like that? But we're like, a tree, quickly!
Cut it down.
Cut it down!
Murder, kill the tree. Yeah, this one was really nice just because it really makes you feel grounded with the bottom right corner. You see the character close up, and it just feels like you're there looking out over this vista. It's just such a cool point of view, I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
And then more magical stuff. You can see stand-ins for 3D models.
Oh, cool. I like the bubble.
Love a bubble.
Love a bubble.
Love a bubble in my artwork. And then a underwater piece.
Yes, that's cool. I like that. Love the colors and lighting here.
Yeah, and all the detail with the bubbles surfacing up from the scuba diver.
That evokes quite a cool sense.
And more birch trees.
I love golden light shining onto trees from one side. You can't beat a good golden light.
The golden hour. The best hour, they say.
Best of all the hours.
And if you would like to be the best of all the hours, click that subscribe button down below.
And this is the part where we say
Goomba.